The Taliban has gone from an insurgency to a government, but it's not good at it, and millions could starve. Welcome to America Uncovered. I'm Chris Chappell. It's been about 5 months since the Taliban seized control of Afghanistan. I know it feels like much longer for some reason. So, how are things in Afghanistan now?
There have been big changes.
Oh hey, that's great.
Since the Taliban took over, there is no work. Prices have gone up. People have left the country.
Okay, not so great. Yes, it turns out the Taliban aren't that good at running a country.
Today, nearly 23 million people in Afghanistan, that's more than half the population, face extreme hunger, according to the UN.
This is shocking. The Taliban has tried everything to restore order to Afghanistan. I mean, they killed people and displayed their bodies, and people are still going hungry? This sounds like it requires a serious, measured response. Maybe beheading mannequins will help. Why? Because mannequins are immoral, according to the Taliban's interpretation of Islamic law. And it's the Taliban's interpretation that counts. Some shopkeepers had tried to get around the decapitation order by covering mannequin heads with scarves or bags. But one local Taliban official said just covering up the mannequins isn't good enough. No, you have to behead the mannequins. I feel like this says a lot about the Taliban's governance philosophy. Stick with what you're good at. But somehow, despite getting rid of mannequins, Afghanistan is still facing an economic meltdown. After the Taliban took over, the Biden administration imposed economic sanctions. The U.S. froze $9 billion in Afghan central bank reserves. Yes, Biden has deprived the Taliban of cash, leaving them with nothing, except for all that leftover U.S. military equipment. But Afghanistan's economy and currency have collapsed. The United Nations predicts that 97% of Afghans could plunge into poverty by mid-2022. Things have already gotten so bad that the Taliban is paying workers in wheat. And that wheat was mostly donated by India to the previous Afghan government. And even worse, winter is coming. More after the break. Welcome back. With the collapse of the Afghan economy, people are struggling to get by. Tens of thousands of people in public sector jobs, like teachers and court employees, haven't been paid in months. And you might not think this is the most important thing, given that, the Taliban is running the country, but there's a healthcare crisis. Medical staff aren't being paid. Hospitals are running out of medicine, and many hospitals couldn't even heat patient rooms. The country is facing outbreaks of diarrhea, malaria, measles, polio, and the worst disease of all, COVID-19. Afghanistan is also being gripped by starvation. The country is confronting one of the worst droughts in decades, which has withered fields, starved farm animals, and dried irrigation channels.
A million children are at risk of starvation.
In the markets, stalls are stocked, but the customers are scarce. Economic crisis along with the winter drought has pushed up the prices.
According to the United Nations, more than half of Afghans will potentially face life-threatening levels of food insecurity this season.
The country is witnessing truly unprecedented levels of hunger, now inflicting more than half its population of 38 million people. International Rescue Committee describes a global system failure fueling the crisis, naming Afghanistan the most at-risk country of a deteriorating humanitarian crisis in the year ahead. While the International Committee of the Red Cross says the country is on the precipice of man-made catastrophe.
Clearly, we know who is to blame for this humanitarian catastrophe. America. Yes, many blame the U.S. for Afghanistan's horrific situation. According to critics, Biden should ease sanctions and engage with the Taliban. A former State Department official says the United States should swallow the bitter pill of working with the Taliban-led government in order to prevent a failed state in Afghanistan. Of course, the solution to Afghanistan's problems is U.S. intervention. Has anyone tried that before? I think we might be onto something here. And the United Nations also has a great plan. Throw money at the problem.
Today we are launching an appeal for $4.4 billion for Afghanistan itself for 2022. This is the largest ever appeal for a single country for humanitarian assistance. And it is 3 times the amount needed and actually fundraised in 2021.
Now, to be clear, the UN isn't donating $4.4 billion to Afghanistan. It's asking other people to donate $4.4 billion to Afghanistan. According to UN officials, the aid will go directly to the people who need it and not to the Taliban. Because the authorities who force people to behead mannequins are reasonable and will keep their promises. Last month, the UN Security Council adopted a resolution exempting humanitarian assistance from UN sanctions on Afghanistan. That will make it easier for international organizations to deliver aid to Afghanistan. And it's not just the UN. The US government is giving hundreds of millions of dollars in aid to Afghanistan. And the Biden administration also issued exemptions to US sanctions to allow more aid. Not everyone likes that idea.
Representative Michael McCall said that exemptions, quote, could result in using American taxpayer funds to reward, legitimize, and enable the same Taliban that took power by force.
Now, some people think the problems in Afghanistan might have something to do with, the Taliban. Don't they know everything revolves around America? But yes, it turns out there might be some slight, minor problems caused by the Taliban. I'll tell you more after the break. Welcome back. Who am I kidding? There's no way YouTube is going to let us monetize an episode about the Taliban. The Taliban isn't really known for their people skills. Apparently, they're having a hard time finding staff. I wonder why. Government employees have fled or refused to work, leaving widespread vacancies in the fragile state. So, leaders have filled positions at all management levels with soldiers and theologians. And yet, for some reason, that doesn't seem to be working out. I'm shocked. Who would have thought that the skills you need to overthrow and destroy a government don't translate well to running one? Some are saying Afghanistan is facing a massive brain drain. No, brain drain is some Nickelodeon game show. What Afghanistan is facing is, well, YouTube wouldn't like it if I said it. But the Taliban is reaching out. According to a senior member, the Taliban are in touch with some Afghans in different parts of the world and are encouraging them to return to Afghanistan because the Taliban desperately need their help and expertise to help their people and government. Yes, just come back. Don't worry, nothing could possibly go wrong for you. Pay no attention to the headless mannequins. As for Afghanistan's neighbors, apparently they don't have a high opinion of the Taliban. For some reason, they think the regime is faction-ridden and incoherent. Also, apparently the Taliban isn't all that inclusive. It has been accused of discriminating against and even persecuting Afghanistan's many diverse ethnic groups, especially Uzbeks and Tajiks. Taliban leaders have also made thinly veiled threats to Uzbekistan and Tajikistan to get them to return Afghan aircraft the previous government leaders used to escape. The Taliban has also been getting into border conflicts with Turkmenistan and Iran, even Pakistan, its close ally. If you want to know more about the complicated relationship between the Taliban and Pakistan, check out the previous video we did on it. I'll put a link in the description below. But I think we can all agree that Afghanistan war and occupation was money and lives well spent. So what do you think? Will the Taliban get better at leading Afghanistan? Leave your comments below. And if you like this show, please know we could not do it without direct support from viewers like you. Visit patreon.com/AmericaUncovered and contribute $1 or more per episode to help us keep the show going. So click the link below. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. Thanks for watching America Uncovered.